The world of work and projects is changing at a rapid pace. Join the Project Management Institute as we navigate our projectized world with the thinkers and leaders making ideas into reality. Together, we'll explore the future of work and what it means for PMI's global community of changemakers as we continue to drive impact and transformation across the project economy. This is Straight Talk.
Good day, everyone. Mike DePrisco here, Interim President and CEO at the Project Management Institute. This is the first of a two-part series of Straight Talk, looking at the hot topic of the future of work. Today, I'm joined by Representative Bryan Steil, who co-chairs the Congressional Future of Work Caucus. Representative Steil, thank you for joining us today on Straight Talk.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, let's jump right into it. Can you share a little bit about your work launching the Congressional Future of Work Caucus and its focus areas?
Great questions, Mike. My colleague, Democratic Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I were speaking about what we could be doing really to prepare workers for the jobs of the future. We talked a lot about what's being done to make sure individuals have the skills to be able to take advantage of some of the higher paying jobs that are becoming available and the real skills gap that we have. And so we created a caucus, kind of a standalone working group, if you think of it in a business sense. We've held a number of hearings and sessions on a whole host of topics, from connectivity of the internet to making sure that individuals have the skills and the tools to be able to work from home. We really try to cut through the red tape, and it's all focused in on how do we allow everyone to take advantage of higher paying jobs and making sure that they have the skills necessary for that.
I think that's a great aspiration. So what are some of the key trends and emerging industries that you've identified as shaping the future of work?
And I think one of the big pieces of the puzzle here is, as we examine new technologies, that initial reaction from a lot of people is identifying the risk. And for many new technologies, there is a lot of risk. You looked at an automated teller machine, an ATM. There was lots of news reports that said when ATMs would come online, there would no longer be jobs at banks. What we actually saw is an increase in total number of jobs, and the mundane task of physically counting cash has more or less been replaced by robots or ATMs. And so instead of just focusing on the risk, also make sure that we're examining the opportunities that it presents.
So many argue that we need to start to rethink our approach to learning models for today's challenges. From your perspective, how are schools preparing young people? And what more needs to be done in terms of reimagining our approach to education?
I look at our education system and kind of bucket it into a couple different groups. So in those early years, one of the challenges that we've seen over the last 2 years during the pandemic is some of our nation's largest school systems were closed to in-person learning. And that really hurt some of the hard skills, the ability to do math and reading, and that a lot of the soft skills, working well with others is much more challenging to develop over Zoom than it is in person. And so we got to make sure our children are in school. As we look to kind of that secondary age, I think one of the best things we can do is really integrate a lot of our workforce needs into the educational products. So think about carpentry and plumbers and how beneficial they are to understanding the broader project. And then as we look at the tertiary education product, colleges and universities, I think one of the real reforms that we need is to look at our higher education system and truly tie it in with our workforce so that our colleges and universities are producing individuals with, say, computer science skills or marketing or chemistry skills. I think that's going to be absolutely essential for the workforce of the future.
What more needs to be done from a workforce development perspective to help professionals prepare for a future when many of the jobs that will be in most demand in the future haven't even been invented yet?
I think a couple of things come to mind. One is I think we need to make sure that we're creating an educational product that allows lifelong learning. If we go back 50 years, people kind of thought of that life journey as, you'd start off, you'd do education, then your education would formally end. You'd go and you'd work. And you'd work until a point in time when work was done and you'd enter retirement. I think in the modern era, we're shifting and kind of breaking that old model apart and saying your education is going to continue along throughout your adult life. And if we're successful in doing that, I do believe will allow individuals to really gain a better job, a higher paying job, and really live the good life that everyone's looking to do.
I think that's great perspective, Congressman. We're certainly thinking about the future of work. Thank you for taking the time and have a great day.
Thank you very much.